Greetings, my excellent friends. It is Monday, December 2nd, 2024, here in beautiful Tokyo, Japan. You got the Hobby Drifter here back once again in the photo booth with the newly released Transformers Missing Link C-03 Bumble figure, aka Bumblebee from our beloved Transformers Generation 1. I picked this up at my favorite little hobby store in the area, and it was priced at 5,400 yen, which, believe it or not, is actually below retail. The retail price is closer to 6,000 yen. And honestly, I picked it up mostly to support that store versus actually wanting it. But since my Transformers collection is pretty heavy on Optimus Primes and Bumblebees already, I figured this does kind of, fit the motif of my collection, so hey, why not? Let's take a look at this thing. This is not like a review so much, it's just taking a look at this thing, getting some first impressions. So, like I say, it is C-03 Bumble. Had some people have a go at me at my Missing Link Convoy video for using the Japanese name versus the US or Western name. And the reason I did that was because that's what's written on the goddamn box. So, I'm not trying to be like an elitist or whatever, using the Japanese names. I'm just reading what's on the box, okay? And speaking of the box, it is, I believe, a little bit bigger than the vintage version. I have not held one of the vintage ones in a very long time. It's probably been 20 years or more. But it is a little bit larger, and that is likely because it needed space to hold the trading cards that are going to be included with the Missing Link figures going forward, which is nice. I love when we get little bonuses like those, the little trading cards and stuff. So it does have the flap, which I do like the flaps. I wish the first one had a flap, but not having it was more in line with the vintage version. So they probably included the flap on this just to make the packaging a little bit larger and just that much more difficult to nicely cram into a pocket. Because, yeah, these things would be very easy to shoplift if, in fact, more stores actually carried them. On top, it's got the fake transformation scheme. The actual transformation scheme of this thing is a little bit more complicated than the vintage version, but it keeps with the aesthetic. On the back, we've got the original artwork, which is unfortunately largely obscured by the tech spec here, which has been, I guess, moved up to accommodate all of this noise down here. It's now for ages 15 and up, which is weird considering the original toys were for ages 3 and up. But let's be clear, no one under the age of 35 is buying one of these anyway. And this is now an official licensed Volkswagen product. So after years and years and years of refusing to do business with war toys, which is hilarious for Volkswagen, they have come to an agreement. We've now gotten several Masterpiece figures under Volkswagen branded Transformers, and now the original is sharing that branding as well. For the purposes of this look, I did dig out my older Bumblebee. This is not the original. This is, I think, from the Takara book style collection. It's been sitting in my drawer for many a year. This is the one that has the cartoon head. But for comparison reasons, I figured I'd pull that one out here. And let's now get a look in the box. Although, real quick, I do kind of appreciate that this is not a window box. I do not love window boxes. I don't think they display very well, especially since I don't like to display them with the toy in the box. I like to have the toy on my shelf, free, So let's get this open. This was sealed with tape, which is something that a lot of the original Transformer toys in Japan were not. They were never sealed, which is cool because it largely spares my favorite hobby from that sealed graded nonsense. So let's get this open here. It comes in a styrofoam little coffin, which is already looking kind of gross. It includes, let's take a look at some of the paperwork. We've got the file card, which is really cool. I do love these file cards. I would love to see a collection of them released, either as cards or just maybe like an art book that collects all of the vintage G1 cards, because those are really tough to find. On the back we got the sticker sheet, which includes it's the same sticker sheet for both Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee. And they include 2 of each. The regular sticker here, your normal Autobot stickers here, and the weird like oblong Autobot logo that's been on Bumblebee's chest for many years. I got a lot of people asking like why the first Missing Link figure had the stickers, even though they were molded onto the toy, and that's just so people who really want this to look like the original toy with joints can do it. I will probably not be using any of these stickers because I think the figure looks better without them. Of note, in here there is no tech spec decoder. There's a little line in the instructions that says that if you bought the first Optimus Prime Missing Link, you can use that tech spec decoder to do this, which is, for a 6,000 yen mini-bot, you would think they could have included a piece of, translucent red plastic, but hey, what do I know? Okay, so let's take a look at the figure itself. Here we are in his little coffin with that nicely mirrored finish behind the head. It is the original G1 toy head. Let's transform our older Bumblebee. Is it 90s or early 2000s that this came out? Probably early 2000s, right? There we go. Surprisingly tight shoulder here. There we go. Alright, so we got our older one. Let's compare old and new. So as you can see, they are very, very similar in size. There are, as far as I can see, no reused parts. Every single bit of this is new tooling, even though it is very much heavily inspired by the older version. So let's get him out of his little styrofoam coffin, which, oh, don't you just love that sound? Okay, so here we are. Very, very similar. This does have much more weight to it. I'd say it's probably 50% heavier than this one. And we now have shoulder articulation, elbow articulation on both sides. The head can turn. The feet are able to come apart, and there is articulation at the legs, knees, ankles. There's some ankle articulation here. So if I had been smart and not had my photo booth grass here, it would be much easier to stand up, but it still does. I don't know who was clamoring for a super articulated G1 Bumblebee, like who was the audience for getting some cool poses out of your 80s mini bot. But I mean, you can get them, and you could probably come close to getting the pose on the box here. And he does come with this gun, this tiny gun, which is entirely chromed, which means that it will probably wear a little bit from being held. There we go. Yeah. Action Bumblebee. Woo. And the transformation to vehicle mode is a little bit more complicated than the G1 version. A lot of this does now tab into place. There we go. The arms have to be swiveled a bit, and they plug in now. Like you can plug the arms into place with this little tab that really worries me about how that's going to hold up over the years, if at all. Knowing Takara Tomi's, let's say, interesting track record for quality on Transformers, I'm not super comfortable with that. And we have the rub sign down here. He's an Autobot. You still see the head popping out here. So yeah, as compared to the older Bumblebee. I keep wanting to say the original Bumblebee, but this isn't the original. Yeah, again, similar, but clearly different molding. I don't love that this sticks out, but I mean, honestly, how often am I going to display this in vehicle mode? Never. Especially since I've got this for display in vehicle mode. So, yeah, that's about it. The rubber on the tires does feel much higher quality than the rubber on the originals. Rolling feels very smooth. By the way, the styrofoam on the back is doubled up for use for both Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper. Bumble and Cliff. Yeah, not a whole lot to discuss with this, honestly. I wasn't really planning to buy this at all, but seeing it on the shelf, I figured, why the hell not? Do have a couple of complaints, though. As much as I loved the original Missing Link, Optimus Convoy, this feels a bit of a cash grab. I've got some gripes with the Missing Link line so far, and I'm going to go through them for you right now. The first is that this is C-03, and that is because C-02 was the anime colors version of Optimus Prime. So right off the bat, you have 1 and 2 in that numbered set, which is ridiculous. That it wasn't like C01 and C01 like A or something. That they said, oh, right off the bat, if you want to have like the full set of numbers, and what OCD Transformers collector doesn't want a full set of numbers, you're buying the repaints, which I didn't. But like honestly, like right off the bat, you've got to buy a second $100 toy to get all of the numbers to line up nicely, and that's mean. That's mean. There is some precedent to it. The gift sets in G1 had higher numbers than the individual robots themselves. So like, if you wanted to have all the numbers for the G1 collection, you had to buy all 6 Constructicons plus the Devastator gift set, which mean. I've said before that Japanese toy companies kind of exploit the OCD of kids and later of collectors, but that's irritating. The second thing that bugs me is the price. This was 5,400 yen, and it is a mini bot. 5,400 yen. That is, if I've got my math right, about 10 times the cost of the original. Okay, so I get that, you know, stuff is more expensive now. The cost of materials, cost of engineering, cost of everything else. 10 times? Okay, look. Here. C-01. Cybertron's Supreme Commander Convoy. Optimus Prime. G1 Optimus Prime. One of the greatest toys of all time. Original price was somewhere in the area of 4,000, 5,000 yen back in 1984. Right? The version here, about 4 times as much. I think I paid 15,000 yen the day it came out. And honestly, 15,000 yen for what is essentially like Soul of Chogokin Optimus Prime. Sign me up. It's an incredibly complex figure. There are a ton of moving parts. Every single bit of this beautiful thing has been updated. They've got the new artwork here from Shin Umeda. They've got new everything. Okay, I get why this was, you know, 4 or 5 times the price of the original. Honestly, this seems like a bit of a bargain, and considering how much I've seen it going for on the secondary market, I think that has been borne out, right? This 5,000. This is about 1/3 of the price of this, right? Okay, like how is this 1/3 of the price that goddamn Optimus Prime is? That is absurd. It is bordering on obscene. Yeah, like if, and I don't see why on earth they could. I mean, I do know why, because money. But Takara Tomy could have easily packaged Bumblebee and Cliffjumper together for around this price, and I would have had no qualms like whatsoever. But this, I don't like to complain about the cost of toys, but like this seems just exploitive to me. So yeah, I don't love the numbering. I don't like that. I have now contributed to the Takara Tomy thinking that 6,000 yen for a penny racer is something that they can get away with. It absolutely terrifies me how much they're going to ask for Sunstreaker and then later RC. I could see this line becoming an extremely pricey thing to collect down the line, and I'm not going to do it. I don't have any intention of picking up the anime Optimus Prime. I don't have any intention of picking up the I don't have any intention of picking up Cliffjumper because I am not Transformers Prime RC. I do not care about Cliffjumper. But, you know, who knows? Maybe they show up in my favorite little secondhand store and gotta have it. Or maybe they pop up in the hobby shop that I want to support and gotta have it. Who knows? I'm a schmuck. Alright, that's all I got for you guys. Take care. Happy hobbying. And if any of you have a problem with the trans rights or human rights thing I put on all my videos, feel free to go and fuck yourselves. Thank you. Bye.